party, it's the facts we bring, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, uncle's ting, tis an uncle's ting. Pull up on the party, it's the facts we bring, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Uncle's podcast. Tonight, I've joined by someone that I've come across on TikTok, actually. I was sent her videos by one of the uncles himself, Charles, and I thought she spoke really well about some sensitive topics. Not only sensitive, but some topics that should be discussed in this day and age, I was talking to her off air and I really thought about how when I was 13, when I was 14, or even 12, growing up in PNG, I sort of needed someone to, look out to or look up to actually find out about these things, whether it's in safe sex or health education, things that are very important these days, but even back then. So, look, I want to introduce this guest, Angela. How are you today? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Richie, and thank you to the uncles. It's an honor to be here, and I appreciate us young generation using different platforms to spread awareness. Thank you for being interested in my videos. It is directed to Papua New Guinea because obviously we're all from there. So yeah, I appreciate the work that you guys are doing, and I appreciate sharing, working on different platforms and us working together, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's such a good thing you're doing. As soon as I saw the video or watched a few videos, I was like, oh man, we got to get her on. Like, she's really she's doing great things out there and talking about, topics that we started talking about from the start, especially, I mean, in the mental health space, that was a big one for us, especially with men, because in
Yeah.
PNG, it's not talked about a lot. It's just like, psh, you just get
Mm.
on with it and keep going. But I found that a lot of my mates, especially with COVID, they a lot of guys around our certain groups like started to drop off and
Mm.
pass away, and that was just it was terrible during that
Yeah.
time. But I think what we have been trying to do on the Uncles is highlight that stigma around mental health and make it okay for people to say that they aren't okay.
Yes.
Because I think in PNG, a lot of men sort of, they have that mentality where, "Psh, I'm alright," you know, you may
They
go,
brush it off.
yeah, you brush it off. And at the end of the day, if you keep filling the jar with sand, when the jar fills up to the top, what is it gonna do? It's gonna explode. And
Mm.
when it explodes, that's when you get to that tipping point. So I think
Yeah.
having these sorts of conversations with people like you is very important.
Yeah.
But before
It's
we get into
yeah.
it, let's I won't, we always do this on the uncles, but it's the word of the week. And
Yeah.
I'm really interested to hear what your word of the week is and why.
My word of the week would be empower. I think that with everything that all my videos and everything that I do, it's to empower the individuals, especially Papua New Guineans, to know that with knowledge, you can change your life. With knowledge, they say knowledge is power, you know? And that I want to empower them to give them that power back to themselves to change their way of thinking. They don't have the resources put in place for them, which is, something that we struggle with in Papua New Guinea. But at least I hope that my videos can empower them to educate themselves and give them that power back. You know, that's why all my videos are mostly in Tok Pisin because I want to reach everyone and we all speak pidgin,
Yeah.
and that's my word of the week is empower.
That's a great word. I think
Yeah.
that's a really nice word, and you basically said it there. You are empowering people. I feel like you've empowered us on the uncles to reach out because you're definitely talking about some really interesting topics that I think are gonna help a lot of young people out there.
Yeah.
But look, we want to sort of understand your own story. Because at the end of the day, you're a person as well. You're not just this Angela on TikTok who's talking about health education and all these topics, but you're also a person that grew up in PNG
Appreciate you. Yeah.
and found your own way in life. So, look,
Mhm.
where were you born and raised?
I was born in Rabaul, actually, in Vunapope,
Mm.
in 1990. My dad was an entomologist. He was an Englishman. And I was raised in Rabaul till I was 8 years old.
Mm.
And then we moved back to West New Britain, which is where my mother's from. She's from Hoskins.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's where I was born and raised. I was raised mostly in West New Britain. Big up all my West New Britain, Ross line, which is what they call them these
Yeah.
days. But yeah, that's where I'm, yeah, born and raised.
Yeah, and how was life there? Because this is whenever we speak to people, we always ask them, what were some of your childhood memories? Because I feel like those are very important years where you sort of learn a lot and it shapes you to the type of person that you are today. So, what was, I guess, your memories like back then?
Well, back then we didn't have mobile phones.
Yeah.
So we were outdoor generation. We would play outside. My my mom left my dad when I was very young. So she was in the village at Hoskins while we were on the Talasia side.
Hmm.
And my childhood memories were always outside. We were always swimming in the ocean. We lived right near the beach. I knew how to fish. I knew how to find food in the ocean. My mother taught me how to do all those things as well. I used to go to the garden with my mother. Like they used to call me Wild Mrs. back in the day because I was very light skinned, lighter than everybody else. And I used to work hard. I used to carry the firewood on my head. I used to walk hours with my mother. So I grew up with nature. I grew up with my culture and I learned everything from my mother, and I appreciate that side of me and that humbles me a lot to this day,
Mm,
And 21 years of my life in PNG, by the way. I'm 35 now. So,
wow.
oh, what the culture place, yeah. I don't know if I can speak pidgin. Is that okay?
You can.
Okay.
Of course.
Oh, Ogata culture lo mina ogata something lo place and me appreciate him na me accept him lo life lo me because lo mama lo my mother. So emta so making na me marry na tete me humble him because lo emta so lo Hoskin side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's beautiful, and that just it reminds me of like my own mother. She grew up in village,
Yeah.
Berena, Yule Island, and
Yeah.
she was also because well we don't actually know our grandfather. He was from somewhere, maybe European, maybe Aussie, who knows? But she was a light skinned, mixed race girl growing up in the village. And,
Mm.
you sort of have this chip on your shoulder where she was telling me the story about how you sort of need to prove yourself because everyone looks at you
Yeah.
differently. And still to this day, she can speak full Roro, our language. And, she rocks up to a service station when along the highway and people are talking in language about it.
Yeah.
She talks in language, and then they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. That's what happens with me and my mom every time we go to the shops or we go to the store. And then she speaks language to me. And then people are shocked that I'm understanding and I'm responding back. Like
yeah,
it's been years now since I've been back home. But my talk plus is my Nakanai language, like
mm,
Hoskins language is a bit broken, but
yeah,
I understand it fluently. I
yeah,
just sometimes have a difficulty giving it back.
yeah.
But I understand. So she talks to me all the time in language because she wants me to remember. So she
Mm,
always speaks to me in language, you
that's
know?
so nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, I wish I learned it. I just could never. Yeah, it
You
was
never say never. You're still young. You can still do it.
exactly. I need to go back and live in the village for maybe I'll build a studio, uncle's studio there, and we can go live from Verena.
Amazing.
Oh,
Oh
and
man.
yeah, look, tell us about 21 years of your life back
Mm,
there in PNG.
mm.
Um, where did you go to high school? Did you go
Okay.
to uni? And what was the big jump to
Yeah.
overseas? Where did you go first?
So I was well when my father had us and he retired he was an older man. So he retired quite early to me. So we started off at Kim International. Then I went into Ruango Primary School, which is the community school, and that
Mm-hmm.
was tough. That was
Mm.
tough. Being the only mixed race girl there, bullying, you name it, it
Yeah,
was there. But that was the initiation phase.
yeah,
When it comes to year what I was in year 4 to 8 there at Ruango Primary School, Ruango Community School.
yeah,
And then after that, I went on to high school. So I did 9 and 10 at Hoskins Secondary.
yeah,
This is all community school. And then luckily enough, one of my dad's friends was able to sponsor me to do year 11 at Kimbe International because I was doing so well at school. They were like, we don't want to, like, my father didn't have the funds because he was a retired scientist. So he was like, I don't know what else to do to support her. So then his friends came and helped us out. So they helped me out for 2 years.
wow,
Yeah, so this is a good thing about community and family,
yeah,
And then so they helped me out to do my year 11 in Kim International. And then I was top. I duxed biology actually. And then after that, I moved to Lay, did year 12, which is where I know Charles from. He was, I think,
uh,
a year below or a couple of years below. I'm not sure. But I think we were in the same year with his brother. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I was only there for a
okay,
year.
yeah,
Yeah. And then from there, I then got into Pacific Advantage University and I did my 3 years of nursing there. But after my first year of nursing, I ended up losing my father. So things were a bit rocky for me. My priorities shifted a lot because I was very close to my dad.
yeah,
That happens. This is all life. It happens, things knock you down. And you don't always go the straight path. You sometimes go different paths. At the end of the day, I'm back where I started. And then yeah, life kind of took its toll a bit. I was in Australia for a couple of years, not doing much really, just trying to figure out life. But then I moved to the UK in 2013, which is where dad's from. And I started from the ground up. I had to start all over again. Um, I had to wait a long time before I got into nursing again, but that was always the dream is to finish my nursing degree.
yeah.
So then I went there and I did my 3 year nursing degree at Kingston University, London. I did that. Then I started working at a hospital called St. Thomas's Hospital in right near opposite the Big Ben in London. So I
Oh,
was
wow, good
yeah.
stuff.
New Year's was the time. I'd be up there in the maternity wing watching the fireworks go off right
Oh,
in front of me. Yeah,
geez,
it was the best experience, honestly.
yeah. It would have been cold too that time,
Yeah. So
freezing.
it was beautiful though. England has its own, I mean, especially London, it has its own perks and good things.
Yeah,
But yeah, I did 4 years, almost 5 years of nursing there. So I went into intensive care nursing, did my intensive care nursing there. I did a cardiothoracic intensive care. And then my dream was always to come back to PNG and help out.
mm,
That was the goal. You ask anyone who knows Angela, they know that her goal was to always come back and give back.
yeah,
Everyone knows that. You ask anyone, they'd be like, she has said that she wanted to come back to Australia to go back to PNG for time. And literally, she's now doing that. And every time I'm getting closer and closer to my goals. So this is now, we're in Australia, been here since November, work here in Australia as a registered nurse. I got my permanent residency as well. Thank God. It was not difficult.
yes, no,
Thank God to the British passport as well. That helped.
yeah, perfect.
Thank God to dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the journey so far. Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
that's
here now.
amazing. And there's a few things there that I want to point out, like ducks of biology. That's crazy,
Yeah.
to do that in back in high school, and then moving from Kimber to Ley, that's a big jump as well, going to Ley Cork, because then you're at that age where you almost had to start again, really, at a new school. That would have been challenging.
I followed my cousin.
Ah, okay.
My
Yeah.
cousin was the reason why I went, and I had a heart-to-heart conversation with my dad because I was like, Dad, my mom left when we were very young. So I said, Oh, Dad, I want to be a teenager. I don't feel like I'm being a teenager because I'm at home looking after all of you.
Mm.
My older brothers were there and I had to take care of everyone. And I said, I've had enough. So I told my dad, I want to be a teenager. I want to experience being a teenager. And I'm surprised he even listened to me. He actually did. So he was like, okay, it's just a year. Okay, we'll send you to Lay. And they
Wow.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there you go, overseas, and that would have been another challenge in itself, trying to
Adjust.
adjust. And that
Yeah.
is one of the biggest things that we always talk about because there are many challenges. You come from a background or place like Papua New Guinea. It comes back to this education thing, you don't know, like, where do I get a car? How do I get a license here?
No.
Just little things like that, that are easy for everyday
Yeah.
Australians, but for people like us coming over, it's quite challenging and you have to find that out on your own.
Hey, I was just like any other Papua New Guinean the first time I went to Australia. I ran across the traffic lights. It says walk. It says walk. I ran. Yeah. Escalators. I was like, which way is it going? Up or down? I don't know which way it's going. I
Yeah,
the same experiences. Even though I went to Australia as a child, with my dad and then when he was working, but
yeah,
it's been years since I last been. The same experiences. Hey, mi pala long na stop to Australia, so it's okay. It's
yeah.
normal.
No, definitely. But even just going from there and then, next step
Yeah.
up, which is London, and that's a massive city. Like I was there with my partner in March, and it's just, it's just so big. London's just
Yeah.
massive, and the amount of people that, get in the tube or get
Mm,
walking around, it's just crazy, and it's just a melting pot of different
yeah.
cultures.
Yeah. It's a very diverse country.
Yeah.
That people say there's racism there and stuff like that. Like I think it depends where you go. I luckily never experienced that.
Mm.
I loved my UK people,
Yeah.
especially the nursing culture. Like nursing there, we're like family, literally like thick and thin. We would suffer together, cry together, everything together. When we brought each other forward, we made sure we finished the shift on a high note and everyone left. That's it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that. You need
They're
that.
very good nurses there in the UK.
Mm. So, I mean, I heard there that, you're on this journey of eventually going back home and giving back, which is, that in itself is really empowering, to use
Yeah.
your word of the week. But
Yeah.
like for you to be able to say that and have that as your goal, and I'm sure you're putting things in place now
Yeah.
to eventually do that. But
Mhm.
one big thing, and I guess the reason how we stumbled across you is your videos and uh,
Yeah.
the videos that you do across social media, which I
Mhm.
feel it's going viral now because I've seen them on Instagram too. I've seen
Oh,
them on
wow.
Facebook.
I
Yeah.
don't even know about those, by the way. As
Hey,
long
look,
as no one is making money from this and is being used as promotion and awareness, I'm happy with that.
yes, yes. Well, that's the big thing. There are a lot of PNG pages that are resharing stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye out if we do find it. If we
Yeah,
do
please let me
find it,
know.
yeah, report, report, report.
Exactly.
No, but look, you know, what made you want to share some of these educational videos?
I hadn't been back for a long time back home. And I think by the time I got back, a lot of my brothers and, family friends who are males, they're grown up now. And I had conversations with them about certain practices, and I heard a lot of stuff and I had to question some things. And I had to be like, so what's the situation? How are you guys going about having sexual relationships with different women? Are you guys being safe? And the answers and the responses they were giving me was alarming. And I was in
Oh,
shock. And I tried to help them understand the risks involved in that kind of lifestyle, and it didn't seem to sink in. And then I went on to think, well, shoot, if they're thinking this way, I wonder what the stats are right now about HIV and AIDS and STIs in Papua New Guinea. Looked it up and it really shook me. And now they're saying it's around like probably 1.2 million people are infected now Do you know what I mean? So then I'm just like,
Holy.
and the statistics office aren't up to, they're not there yet. They need to be up there. But the thing
Mm,
is, again, there's no resources, there's no funding, there's not enough funding for that. And it's a bit tricky. But I think forget about statistics because then we need to focus on how do we prevent it amongst ourselves?
mm,
How do we look after ourselves? Because it's all good trying to wait for statistics, but it's not going to stop it from spreading,
no.
you know? So we need to have these conversations and that's the thing, my videos are mostly trying to empower the families and communities
Yeah.
because if the government can't help, then we need to help ourselves,
Yes.
and I think it stems from safe sex. It stems from safe sex practices,
Mm,
looking after yourself. And I
mm,
think there's not enough sexual health education for boys and girls, you know? So
yeah.
I think that was kind of like what alarmed me. And I've got young nieces and nephews. I've got brothers and sisters who are coming into that age, and I want to protect them. And the only way I can protect them is to do awareness for others as well. Because it's a chain reaction. You know what I mean? If I educate everybody else, it comes back to my nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it comes back. It all a chain reaction. So this is why I'm doing it because of the passion I have for my own family. You know, that's why.
That's amazing. And that's where that, I guess, that word empower comes from, because it's like for us with the uncles, right? The reason why we started this was because when we got here to Brisbane, the three of us, we went to school, and you get Aussies come up to you and say, "Oh, how are those cannibals back home?" And it's just there's just no education on their understanding of Papua New Guinea. So we just thought, oh wow,
Amazing.
every Australian must just think that we're all cannibals and we're crazy and we eat people and all of this. But little do they know, we have 800 different languages. We're
Yeah.
some of the most beautiful people. We have white sandy beaches, one of the
Yeah.
tallest mountains in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
It's
And volcanic beaches that are black.
Yeah, volcanic beaches
West.
that are black. Yeah, now Ross.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we really wanted to showcase that beauty, and one of the biggest things about showcasing Papua New Guinea is speaking to Papua New Guineans, because I feel like we as people, we're
Mm,
very we're very different, but
mm,
I think because we have so many different cultures there, I
mm.
feel like it's a world in its own. Like
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea is a world of its own. You have so many different cultures. You have people who look like us. You have people who look like Highlanders. There
Yeah.
are people who look like, you know,
Bougainvilleans.
Bougainvilleans. Like there's
Yep.
just so many different looking people on this one land, and it's just so hard to get anywhere with anyone, because we all speak a different language. We all have our own cultures and beliefs, and
Yeah. Adding on to that,
Mm.
anytime anyone asks me where I'm from and I say Papua New Guinea, even in England, they used to think Guinea, Africa. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every single person who asks me where I'm from, I go and I say, come. I open the computer, I open the map, and I show them exactly where Papua New Guinea is.
Yeah.
Every time. This is where I'm from. This is my island that I'm from. My mother is from here. I even Google Zoom it so you can see my mother's house, see my father's house, and I'll be like, this is where I grew up. Look how green and beautiful it is, you
Mm.
know? Forget all the negative stuff. We said, I am from there. I am a proud Papua New Guinean, even though the government has told me to choose Papua New Guinea or English. But let's not get into that. Anyway, but yeah, I'm a proud Papua New Guinean, whether they like it or not. Yeah, I'm so proud of our country. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's all we're trying to do here at the Uncles, is just
Mm.
portray that beautiful image that we all know and we all love to
Yeah,
everyone else, so that hopefully someone in America can wake up and go onto the Uncles or go onto your platform and be like, oh,
yeah,
wow, this is what they're doing over there. Yep, yep, that's what we're doing. Um,
yeah.
Yeah, so look, let's get into, I guess, one
Mm,
of the topics. But actually, yeah, Charles sent me one of the videos. I think it was about sort of awareness around inappropriate touching of children, which I think is a huge thing. I mean, I I'm probably out of line here, but I think I saw something, whether it's shared by the news or ABC or something, but there was some stat on men and how many men, not only just in PNG, but this was a stat across the Pacific
mm,
that were touching
mm,
their younger family members
mm.
in ways that are obviously terrible and bad. And there was some sort of stat where it was like 50% of kids had
Yeah,
reported or said
yeah,
their parent or someone has touched them wrongly or
yeah.
incorrectly. So when I saw that video, I was like, oh,
Mm,
this needs to be talked about because
mm.
it does happen a lot and it would happen a lot in the
Yeah,
villages. And
100%.
I mean, if anyone's watching and you have the stat, like put it up
Mm,
there for us because
yeah,
I'm just going off of a memory that I have.
yeah. Um, I think the reason why I brought that up is because again, I've got nieces, I've got family members, and also I also stayed in the village as well. And personal experiences also told me to speak up as well. Like now I have the voice and I have the education to power me to say stuff. And this is why I encourage, like, this is why I'm trying to encourage everyone as well to speak up if you're going through something like that. And also, my education videos, I haven't done one just yet, but I said I was going to do one on inappropriate touching for kids to educate kids to be able to speak about body parts openly and freely so that they can be able to verbalize, like, mommy, daddy, I got touched on my breast, I got touched on my vagina or my penis. Like private parts needs to be said out so there's no confusion, you know? Teach them young so they know which parts they're talking about and they're very clear. When you teach them young, then they can say, "Oh, mommy, I got touched here, I got touched here." And this is the thing, and like it happens a lot, even by your own family members, you know? And I think from a personal experience, I'm very open about sharing stuff. I don't hold back because I feel like the people need to learn from that. I had a cousin who did the same thing, tried to do something like that. And when I voiced it to my mother was like, shh, no can do something and family or sama. Like, I got shut down
Mm,
and nothing bad actually really happened. Nothing, I wasn't like, violated or anything like that, but it could have.
mm,
And the fact that my own mother, bless her soul, I love her to bits. I don't blame her. I understand, you know? And this is what growth and this is what maturity makes you think about is you don't blame your parents sometimes for these things because they don't know any better, you know? And this is why I'm voicing things so people know better, you
mm,
know? It's not okay. It's not okay to touch little girls. And also one of my education videos was also about fathers and mothers touching their kids when they're growing up to the age of puberty, you know? When
mm,
young girls grow up to the age and like their breasts are coming out, it's not okay to touch their boobies. Leave them, leave their breasts alone. That's their private part, you
mm,
know? And you start that from home so that when they go out, they know that's not for you to touch. That's
mm,
mine, you know? And young girls need to know that from a young age to protect themselves, you know? Need to start from home. Start him lo house. Educate him or picking it mo young little private part sitting him. Na toki mo lo koli mo stred. Na no kan holi mo likol meri. Lari mo stop. Or grow na to little boys too. Or parts dongo too and private hub dongo. No kan holi mo something or some. You think him. This needs to be this needs to go out viral. I honestly I'll have a lot of people coming at me for all kinds of reasons, but I'm just like, listen, we have to start somewhere, and this is us starting now. And everyone needs to start talking about it. It's happening. And the thing is, when you start allowing that to happen at home, then young kids start to think it's okay. And then any Tom, Dick, and Harry can do it.
mm,
You know?
mm.
That's where you need to stop. Stop it at home. Teach them from a young age.
Yeah, it's a really important thing, and I think I really like what you said about just speaking up, and I feel like
Mm,
parents. should be the ones that raise this with their kids in the first place. You know, you need to be able to talk to them openly about your sex life or
Mhm.
these thoughts that you might be having, whether it's about a girl in your class or a boy. You need to be able to tell, share those feelings with your parents.
Yes.
Your parents need to be able to put you in a comfortable situation where you can sort of air
Yeah.
to them.
They, the parents, especially low village, it's not known to them. They don't know how to do that.
Mm,
They need guidance, they need education, they need to be shown how to speak to their kids like that. They
mm.
will never talk like that. That's the thing. There's taboo to talk about things like this. And
Yes.
it's taboo to the point where you have underage pregnancies, teenage pregnancies, and this is the result of this taboo. Taboo tok tok make him na ogataman pasi mouse. Now picking ni Paul now. Kids don't have a sense of direction. They don't know what's right and what's wrong because you mga taboo. Taboo la totoo ko slat about. Now look him. Red blood teenage pregnancy now gone tap no guturo now. So
Mm,
how but you stop him most when him? Start low house. You think him. So you need to educate him some strong him parents to talk out. Nothing is shameful about it. That's the thing. Shame. Big thing in PNG is shame.
yes.
You know?
Embarrassing. Embarrassed. It's such a big thing, and I think it has a lot to do with not only just culture, but religion as well.
Yeah.
I feel like religion's played a massive part in, or, if you say that that's a bad thing to say, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
But I think us not saying those things
Mm.
only just, you know, it just leads to other things happening in
Unwanted
life.
situations.
Yeah, unwanted situations and, you know, uneducated people and, you throw yourself in situations where you're not prepared and you're about to do something silly and then it happens
Yeah.
and then you know what now? It's too late.
And one of my videos that went quite viral was the teenage pregnancy and also like parents being able to allow a safe space for their kids to come and speak to them.
Mm.
Like I said, it's difficult for the village families to get their head around it. It'll take a while for them to get a head around it. But Lotown, there's no excuses because I feel like we watch enough videos. If you want, go on YouTube videos to educate yourself how to speak to your daughter about sex, how to talk to your son about sex. There's lots of resources online on how to do that. If you care about your children and their upbringing and their safety, educate yourself. No one's stopping it. You spend hours looking at Chinese movies and Filipino love dramas and that. Spend some time watching YouTube videos on how to talk to your kids about sex. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. I don't need to tell you that. You can do it yourself. Educate yourself. Empower ya. Power and education ya. You learn him ya. But you look at him with bikini blue ya. But you serve a hollow to talk one them. But break him's la barrier to talk
Mm.
about sex. Think him. That's it. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, it's such a big thing because I feel like if you can discuss those things openly
Mm.
with your kids, then you're already it's a step in the right
You're
direction.
winning.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, and I feel I would always find it funny when I came here to go to school, and I would go to my mate's house and his mum's openly speaking about sex and talking to him, oh, so where did you
Now
boys
you,
go?
Sam.
Yeah, I miss him. Yeah, I was like, hey, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
How are they talking like that to each other? But that was the world that I came from, and
Mm,
that's how far advanced they are.
yeah,
Yeah, with openly talking about those sorts of issues. And
yeah.
you know, at that time I didn't understand it, but now that I've matured, I
Mm,
wish my parents
yeah,
spoke about that, with me, because
100%.
I went through, early years of my 20s finding all of this stuff out
Uh,
when I could have easily, put myself in certain situations when I didn't have to deal with that
yes.
shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's so true, but I you had a few stats there on a few different things, and I think it's important to highlight some of these. I know you've brought them up in your videos, but these numbers are really, really important.
Yeah.
to highlight for our listeners.
Um, so with regards to HIV and AIDS, the stats right now they're saying it's around 120,000 people are infected, but these are just the reported cases.
Yes.
Um, you're talking about like 8 million population, like 120,000 like people, that's like minuscule. But there's a whole population that hasn't
Mm,
even been reached yet. Their testing hasn't been done or they
yeah.
haven't come forward. So it's not accurate at all. And then out of that 120,000, 56,000 of those people are on ART drugs, so drugs to suppress the disease from being spread,
Yeah.
the HIV and AIDS. And then half of that actually come back for their checkups and their viral load.
Oh, wow.
Only half of them. So now it's made they've lost those people now. So what has happened to them? Have they got access to drugs still? Are they still checking? Are they still being safe?
Mm,
You know? So it's a very dangerous game. Very, very dangerous game we're playing with, and it's scary. It's
yeah.
scary. I don't know how they're regulating it. I don't know how the situation is back in PNG, but it's going to turn into a pandemic. If it's already a pandemic, but it's going to go epidemic. It's going to go crazy if we don't start using safe sex practices, if we don't start testing, if we don't start sharing the awareness with our kids and our family members to think about these things that are out there. Mitotok finish pleasure bloskin em nice tasol. Consequences na backlash blong em.
Mm,
Now you know save now. You
yeah.
think em. So always test, test, test. So you save.
Mm,
And this is it's so scary. Like I tell you, I like even when I say it now, it scares me.
yeah. And that's even this, they haven't even done a census for, I think the last one was done in 2000. So I think it was UNICEF or someone reported that our population might even be double now. So it might be 15 or 16 million. Just going off numbers in rural areas. And
100%.
because like man, in the village, my uncle,
Kids
I
having kids.
my uncle had 16 kids, and I think out of the eight now probably have two kids each. So look, if that's happening in one little village in Bahrain,
Yeah.
like, the population's gonna be
Growing.
double, and they haven't done a census in it's nearly 26 years now, or I think the last one was done in the late 90s. So
Yeah.
it's really
It's
scary because then that means that HIV number
yeah.
would be different as well.
Yeah. And I think one thing, like I'm also a grandmother, by the way, in the village, somehow. Yeah, because my nieces
Uh,
had gone pregnant, and like one of my videos, I think I did it, but I think I removed it, I think recently, but it was how many kids each child is having, you
mm,
know, and all they don't go to school, they stay at home, they keep having kids, and they think this is the end of their lives just to have kids, this is the way it's supposed to be, and it's really sad because I'm just like this is your life. And these are my nieces. I used to love looking after them. They were beautiful girls. Now they've got like five, six kids and they look very malnourished. Their kids look malnourished. They can't provide for them. They don't even have the land to support them,
no.
you know? And it breaks my heart because I want to look after every single one of them. But I know I'm only one person. I can't do that. So I'm just like, I wish I had come earlier and done this awareness to my family ages ago about family planning, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's
No?
another big topic because, yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, I feel like I would go back to the village and then, my little niece has another kid and we're just standing there and like, oh man, that's beautiful, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's just, you know, uh, are you ready for
Yes.
another one? And do you have the means? I mean, they're all
Yes.
living at my uncle's house still, and it comes back to that, family planning, family education, and that's another great topic, which, I think a lot of people would value, especially
Mm,
back home.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
It's yeah, I feel like there's a lot to unpack and
So we're talking about education and World Vision has stats here, and they're saying
Yeah.
that primary school in PNG right now, school attendance is at 63.4% in boys and 56.5% in girls. That's the World Vision stats they have right now. You
Wow.
know, and then that it kind of stops there. Like high school is very like it drops even further.
Yeah, okay. So that's
Oh,
just primary school.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we're the lowest in literacy in the Pacific Islands, by the way. Lowest.
Jeez.
Come on, PNG. Like
Yeah.
this is bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people to blame, and
Yes.
I wanna sort of just mention this also because people might get carried away with what we're talking about, but um, where it would be great if there's anyone watching this and there's a teacher or a nurse
Mm,
back home, and you wanted to reach out and talk about some of these issues as well,
mm,
please reach out, send us a message because
100%.
at the end of the day, we're here in Australia.
Mm,
What we're trying to do is send a message back home to help our people, but you guys are the ones on the ground, and
yeah.
if you feel like you can add some value here, please reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And look, on the, education side of things, health education, are there any other topics that, you've discussed? Because I know you've got lots of videos on TikTok now.
I go in and out. I stick with sexual health and then I go to um children and then I go to parenting as well and everything. And I know I might get some backlash for that because I'm not a parent and everything. But like, awesome. At the end of the day, we're just trying to spread awareness and some insight.
Yeah.
Whether you take it or not, it's up to you. It's up
Mm,
to you to take that information. I'm talking from personal experience only. And so it's up to you to how you figure that out. And I know that it will resonate with a lot of Papua New Guineans because like I am one myself. So if it resonates with me, it will resonate with another sister, another brother.
yeah.
So yeah, it's all just education, just putting it out there.
Yeah, and that's we've already seen the amount of
Mm,
followers that have been,
yeah,
liking your stuff, commenting. There's obviously things that you're sharing there that they feel like, oh wow, she's
yeah.
really affecting us and we can relate to her, and you're definitely educating people out there. So
You know what? I just want to add something.
yeah.
One thing that nobody knows is that in 2010, I actually was in the national debate for PAU. I was the president at the time of the school, and I was also president of the debate club, and we debated against HIV and AIDS,
Oh,
and we won. So it's in an article somewhere in 2010. I've
wow.
even emailed the Post Courier to ask them to send me a copy of that
Yeah.
because I told them I'm doing awareness right now and I want to show my followers I've been thinking about this since 2010, since I
Yeah.
was in uni, you know, and since that time, and we won. And my nickname at the time was Lady with the Whip.
Uh,
Lady with the Whip, and we were discussing some real deep topics, and we were going for it. And we even met up with people with HIV and AIDS, and we were meant to be the Prime Minister's youth ambassadors at the time, you
yeah.
know? So it was such a big thing, and it was really good. I hope they're still doing it. I'm not sure if they are or not, but it's so good to get the youths involved to just do this kind of discussions.
Yeah.
This is where it should be, and televising it and making it live so that people are seeing these young people are talking about it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it was empowering.
Mm,
It was so good. So
yeah.
yeah, sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find that article. I'm gonna reach out to, I know someone at Post Career, so
Oh,
I'm
do
gonna
you?
try see if we can find this article.
Perfect.
Pretty good at finding it, and then we can post it up somewhere, or we'll
I
send
think it
it
was
to you.
around June 2010. June 2010, I think
June
it was.
2010.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we were at the front page.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
we'll try to find it. We'll try to find it. But it's awesome because yeah, I mean the youth, the
Yeah.
essentially we're the next generation. We're the ones who are going to be making
Mm,
these decisions for the young people,
yeah.
20, 30, 50 years time.
Yeah.
Because those that are there now, they're going to be gone in
Yeah.
20, 30 years time. So I feel it's really important. And yeah, I guess that's what we've touched on, the importance of speaking about these issues.
Mm,
But also, one thing we wanted to discuss was how can some of the health workers back home
mm,
support, but also get involved with raising awareness because I feel you're doing such a great job in getting
mm,
out there and putting your own
mm,
self,
mm.
on TikTok and
Yeah.
putting yourself in, I guess, the firing line. But
Yeah.
someone back home might be a bit too nervous. How can they sort of, help out in their own little way?
You know what? Again, it comes to the word empowering.
Mm.
When one starts, then others can follow. That's the thing, you know? And I have already come in contact with some brave healthcare workers. There's one HEO, there's another nurse from PNG, and if you're a healthcare professional, we're all the same. Our mentality is the same. We will speak up.
Mm.
Given the platform, given the opportunity to do so, given the knowledge and the support, they will speak up. But I think it comes back again to our culture of shame. If you're coming from a small place, especially a small island, they might be scared to talk up because ngoto mansemi mall or bagarapi mall. But I think I encourage people to be brave and speak up because at the end of the day, it's our duty of care to the people of Papua New Guinea to educate, to promote. This is stuff that we learn from Nursing 101, health promotion, health education. It's not new to us. We do it all the time. It's just, I encourage them to come up and speak up. Whoever's out there who's a healthcare professional, please come message me, inbox me. And if you want to collaborate, if you want to join into a live and have a conversation about certain topics, I love the support. I get a bit shy too when I'm on live myself. I like it when there's other people in the room with me to help answer questions, um, and support. And I'm welcoming everyone to use their own platforms to do such things you know? So I just empower you guys. Just do it. Nothing is going to happen. You're doing your job. Yeah. If you have the passion for it, just do it.
Yeah, that's great advice. And look, to finish off, we always talk here on the Uncles about giving some advice to the next generation that's coming through, mainly in the hope that maybe there's a young Angela out there who's trying to find her way through life in Papua New Guinea, and she doesn't sort of know where to go or what's around the corner. So I mean, what advice would you give to that next generation, but also how can they, come out if they're too afraid to speak up?
Mm. That's it took a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. It's not easy. It's not easy to come out. It's not easy to have the courage to speak up. Um, I would say speak amongst your friends, especially if you're going through something. Um, all youths live plus tapos school, yeah. Toto kwanto probably when I can worry you got, when I can believe you got, toto kwanto probably you got ma teacher you trust him. Lo out him heavy blow you. Toto kwantem all. Toto kwantem all semi like some block consents blow you, but also try mo toto kwantem pa ma blow too. Maybe you got some plan understanding to stop, but you know seven, you poreta, but just try that's all. I think babi make some plan mo videos lo try lo boy you swim or pa mamabli plus swim mo sem mere PNG em toto correct plus something But what I'm trying to say is that I encourage you to be brave and always put education first. Education first in everything in your independence. Independence is a very, very strong thing. Put him past them, school past them, put him education blue pass. That way you're going to succeed in life. And I know it may not be available to everyone. I know that. Lopless, so learn how to lopless. Think past them lo okay lily call walk lo place. No can got plenty picnic close to because him you think him life blue him long play yet. You know just about got picnic that's all. So we should like him picnic got one plat two plat all na plus scale blue that's all look at you na family blue that's all. Think him em no place ah. I'm talking to people in the village as well because I'm said I've got people in the village as well. But
Yeah.
the people in town, education first, everything. People in the village, limited number of beginning. And boys, oh my goodness. This is our thing. Boys, brothers, please put this school past them. Look at the mama, blah, blah. This is, they're getting older. Life expectancy in PNG is 65, age 65. They haven't got long. So you need to look at them all up on blue, and just stop good, so stay away from drugs, you know. School, not school good. Or if not, help your parents out. Go to a garden, walk in garden. I'm trying to talk to the rural and urban at the same time. Yeah, just just be good. Just do good and just be kind, respectful. That's it.
Oh, that's great words there. Thank you so much, Angela. And
Thank
like,
you, Richie.
yeah, we always say to everyone, whenever we get a guest on the uncles, this is the first, but it won't be the last.
Mm,
Because we'd love to keep, checking in and see where you're at with your goals and
I appreciate that.
what's your story. So hopefully next time we bring you on, you'll be at that maybe in PNG doing something massive.
My clinics will be opening. That's my goal. I'm gonna open my
Yes.
clinics, gonna have preventative centers, all of that. That's all in the pipe works.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. We love to see it, and we're gonna be there cheering you on. If you need
Thank you.
any help with anything, then just let us know. But the
Thank you so
uncles
much.
are in your corner. We love what you're doing. We think it's great because essentially you're speaking up and helping the next generation. So big thank you from us to you, Angela.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.